Hey everyone, welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. This is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance, and I'm also the author of the book Clever Girl Finance, Ditch Debt, Save Money, and Build Real Wealth. So let's talk about some of the most commonly forgotten monthly expenses so that you can make sure that you're including these expenses in your budget. So the first commonly forgotten expense is emergency savings. We all hear that we need to have savings put aside for emergencies, but do you actually have it as a line item in your budget? You definitely need to. This way you have an amount of money that you're contributing into your emergency savings every single time you get paid, and that way when an unplanned life circumstance happens, you have the money to cover it. Another expense is retirement savings. So retirement savings is not savings that anybody can force you to make. You have to decide to save for retirement. And sometimes a lot of people put this on the back burner because they're like, well, retirement is so far out, or I'm not earning enough money. However, there's nothing wrong with starting small, and it's really important that you start as soon as possible so you can take advantage of the power of compounding over time to really grow your investments. And so it's a really good idea to put a line item in your budget to save for retirement. Another commonly forgotten expense is extra payments towards your debt. So if you have debt that you're trying to pay down, you may already have accommodated for your minimum payments in your budget. However, if you want to accelerate paying off that debt, then you need to build in extra payments on top of your minimum payments. And the only way that you can make these extra payments consistently is if you build them into your budget to ensure that you have enough money each month to make those extra payments towards paying off your debt faster. Another very commonly forgotten expense are your quarterly and your annual bills. So most people get their bills in as monthly expenses. And so it can be confusing to think about planning for your quarterly or your annual expenses because those are expenses that you can easily forget because you don't have to pay them every single month. So one way to stay ahead of those quarterly or annual expenses is to determine how much they're going to cost you on a monthly basis and then put those amounts aside in an account so that when it's time to pay that quarterly bill or it's time to pay that annual bill, you have the money put aside to cover it. Another expense is homeowners or renters insurance. And this is essentially you protecting your home or protecting your personal property if you rent a place. And so you want to make sure that you're also building payments for these insurance premiums into your budget as well. Also, think about your medical copays, your dental copays, your vision copays, any doctor's visits that you have, and what it's going to cost you. And if you go to the doctor's office often, then you want to make sure that you're building those payments for your visits into your budget as well. Another big one, another expense that is commonly forgotten is cost of prescription medication. So for many people who have health insurance, a lot of your prescription medication might be covered by your insurance. However, you may have out-of-pocket expenses. And there is even a stat that says on average, Americans spend over $1,200 on prescription medication. So if you have any medication that you're taking often, make sure that you build the cost of this medication into your budget as well. The next expense is parking, tolls, and gas. So if you are commuting anywhere, if you are traveling anywhere with your car or on public transportation, this is all going to cost you money. You're going to have to pay for parking maybe, you're going to have to pay for your tolls, you're going to have to pay for gas, and these are expenses that should be built into your budget. And one way to do this is to look at how often you're traveling in a month, how often you're commuting in a month, and determine what those expenses are going to cost you on a daily basis and sum it up for the month and put an average in your budget so you can plan what you're going to pay for when it comes to your commuting and your travel costs. So another expense that can be really tricky is subscription renewals. And so many people have so many different subscriptions that they're not tracking in their budget. And the problem is that even a small amount can overdraw your account if you have so many of these different transactions that are renewing every single month. So it's a good idea to list out what all your subscriptions are, determine which ones you don't need so you can cancel them, and then put the rest in your budget so that you know you can accommodate paying for every single one of the subscriptions that you have. You should also be building your personal care and beauty items into your budget. You may not be replenishing those items every single month, but maybe you're replenishing them every other month or every quarter, and those amounts can still add up when it comes to hair products and beauty products. So you want to have a line item in your budget for your personal and your beauty expenses as well. Another commonly forgotten expense is dry cleaning. So depending on your wardrobe, depending on what events you have to attend, you may go to the dry cleaner often or maybe occasionally. However, if you are going to the dry cleaner at least once a month, you want to build paying for that expense into your budget. A lot of us have charitable organizations that we give to or we make donations. And if you do this often enough, this is also another expense that you want to make sure that you're building into your monthly budget. If you do it once a quarter or once a year, you still want to have that line item so that when that month comes around, you can remember to plan for those donations in your budget as well. One other big monthly expense that so many people forget to include in their budget is gifts and paying for those gifts, especially around the holidays, or especially if you have a lot of people that you give birthday gifts to. And while gift giving is not mandatory, if you are someone who likes to give, then you want to make sure that you can afford the gifts that you're giving by building the cost of those gifts into your budget, or having a buffer or a special account where you put money aside specific for gift giving. And the last expense that you don't want to forget to include in your budget is fun money. At the end of the day, we all want to spend money on things that make us happy, and you want to be able to do this guilt-free. So build a line item into your budget to accommodate your fun money, whether it's eating out, going shopping, hanging out with your friends, getting your nails done, whatever it might be, so you have this money put aside guilt-free. So when it comes to your expenses, it's all about planning accordingly so you're not forgetting to include specific things in your budget. So I'd love to know, are there now any expenses that you have that you were forgetting in the past that are now staples in your budget? Leave a comment below. By the way, if you are not sure about your expenses, one way to catch those sneaky expenses that you may be forgetting is to take a look at your historical spending. So go over your statements for the last 3 to 6 months and determine if you have any expenses that need to be included in your budget on a consistent monthly basis. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and head on over to Instagram and follow us at Clever Girl Finance. We have a great time engaging there. And don't forget to stop by the Clever Girl Finance website at clevergirlfinance.com. We have over 30 plus completely free courses to help you as you work on improving your finances. I will talk to you guys in the next video.